Yo, what is good, Celtics Nation? Welcome back to the podcast, guys. Episode 2. Now, this is kind of an emergency podcast. Early this morning, I was watching some football, and out of nowhere, the Celtics make a move and actually get better, in my opinion. Now, if you guys checked out episode 1, where we broke down pretty much the entirety of the offseason, we were talking a little bit about Jrue Holiday, and me and Ricky, specifically Ricky, was talking about we need a facilitator. We need a main ball handler on this team alongside Jalen and Jason. And Brad Stevens says, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go out. Let's get Jrue Holiday so the Miami Heat can't get him, so the Philadelphia 76ers can't get him. And in my opinion, I do think he gave up a lot, but I think it could be worth it. Jrue Holiday is on his way to the Boston Celtics. The Celtics gave up Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, a 2029 first-round pick, and also a 2024 first-round pick via the Golden State Warriors. So, in my opinion, I like this move a lot, and we'll get into all those details. But what was your first reaction, Ricky? Because I know for me, I was shocked, happy, and kind of sad at the same time. What was your reaction?
Listen, man, I'm actually kind of surprised it wasn't more. I know everybody's saying that they think that, oh, that's a lot. It's a haul, but it's Jrue Holiday. And,
Yep.
you got two first round picks. One of them is a Golden State pick in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. And then another one's going to be a 2029 pick. And I'm not going to say 2029 isn't important, but that's another problem for another day. The window is now. The window's not going to be 2029. So those two picks, I understand they're important to some, not important to me. And clearly not important to Brad, as he just parted ways with them.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brogdon, not important. A valuable asset last year. I know people are going to hate to hear this. He wasn't going to be around. He didn't want to be here. He didn't want to contribute. He's pissed at the organization, pissed at the team. Whether he's right to do that or not, that'll be up for another conversation. But realistically, what you're doing is you're getting rid of a distressed asset. You're getting rid of two picks that realistically, aren't going to add any value of a Jrue Holiday. Let's be very frank about that. And then you did let go of the big dog, Robert Williams.
Yep.
Love that guy. Tons of grit, tons of talent, tons of upside, tons of athleticism. But guess what? He's never healthy. He's never available when you really need him. Last year, he played 3 playoff games, and then what happened? He was hurt. So I'm actually kind of surprised this isn't a bigger trade, that we didn't have to give up guys like Pritchard and maybe Sam Hauser. I know everyone's thinking that it's a lot, but I think people just overvalue our assets. I really do. And I think that this is the difference between Brad and Danny. Danny would have been afraid to do this deal, and Brad, man, the ball's on this guy, man. He went out there, he saw the need, and he made the deal happen.
Yeah, exactly, man. And Jrue Holiday is a difference maker. We talked a lot about losing Marcus Smart's defensive ability and what he does as, just a defensive presence. But Jrue Holiday is arguably a more, active in terms of defense. He's getting steals. He's hustling. He's
better
doing
in
the
every
things that
way.
you need. Yeah, and then offensively, don't get
Every
me
way.
started. I mean, last year he was shooting upwards of 38% from the three ball, 38.4%. The year before, 41. 39. So the past 3 years, he's shooting over 38% from three. So alone, the Celtics got better offensively, defensively, shooting the three ball, handling the ball. He was averaging 7.4 assists per game last season. I mean, this guy is a playmaker, and he's coming into Boston as the 4th scoring option?
Yep.
I mean, listen, the one thing I will say, I love Robert Williams, just like I love Marcus Smart. Rob Williams was a hustler. He got blocks. He got rebounds. He could, even defend the perimeter at times, blocking shots. But in this case, I think this is worth it. I think this really does help Boston tremendously.
No-brainer.
Yeah, no brainer in my opinion. Like you said, Malcolm Brogdon, the foot out the door already. We said that in episode 1. He needed to go. I couldn't really see that mended relationship there, and he needed to go. He's gone. The one question I do have, though, is the backup center. Now, Porzingis, Horford, we signed Wendy Gabriel from the formerly of the Lakers today. So what's the center position? What's next for that, man? I mean, Dwight Howard, Boogie Cousins, do you even go out there, or do you kind of just say Luke Cornett might be the backup center? I mean, that's where I'm most concerned at the moment.
I mean, Al Horford plays that position. I think Al Horford comes off the bench and he plays that position. And again, this is a regular season conversation. This is not a postseason conversation, because if you're talking postseason, I say really what we need to do is get a veteran wing or a veteran 3-and-D guy to add off the bench that we can put a good piece into the rotation. Aside from that, these boys are ready to go. This is championship or bust. The excuses are out the window. I don't want to hear they didn't have enough. They don't have a passer. They don't have, obviously provided injury. This team has now everything it needs to win a title. They're better than Milwaukee. They're better than the Denver. They're better than Miami. They're better than the Lakers. They're better than all these teams.
Yep.
And I don't want to hear any excuses going forward. I do think that there's a veteran depth piece that needs to be added, but you have Cornette, you have Al. It's a positionless game. You have Porzingis, who's going to start at the 5. Again, provided he stays healthy and can be there in the
biggest
postseason.
Concern, yeah.
He's a defensive stud. I'm not saying he's Rob Williams, but he's plenty good defensively to get you where you need to go. Again, you just need to we mentioned this last episode. You got to outscore what the defense is going to give you on your other end. So that's realistically what it's all about. And how many battles did Jrue Holiday dominate Marcus Smart in that we
he's
saw?
just so much better offensively than Marcus was. Like, I feel like, listen, I love Marcus, but Marcus here, and I think Jrue Holiday's a whole level ahead of him, especially offensively. It's different levels. So I think Jrue Holiday really helps. He is 33 years old. He's 6'4", 205 pounds, former first-round pick out of Philadelphia. But, man, I really do love this addition. And when you talk about potential starting lineups, I think we have flexibility to do a lot of different things. You can send Derek White to the bench and have him be like the sixth man now that Malcolm Brogdon's gone, and run, a Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis, and Al. I think that lineup would do really good together. But then that's where we get, okay, who's going to play more backup minutes at center? That's where you get a little bit wishy-washy. But I think you were trying to say we could run Derek White, Jrue Holiday, Jalen, Jason, Porzingis. Is that probably what you would go with?
Yeah, I would go with that too, and maybe go get and I was looking at the free agency list today, so if I'm off by a day or two, forgive me, everyone. I'm not hawking the free agent list, but I mean, even a guy like Terrence Ross, or the
Reggie Bullock cut.
Reggie Bullock would be great too, or how about the kid from Denver? Is it Barton?
Will Barton? Barton, yeah. I'm not sure if he's still in Denver now. I think he went somewhere else, but yeah, he would be decent. He's a nice little combo guard.
I looked at a free agency list today, and that would have been a nice addition, in my opinion. Just a guy to come off the bench in the rotation. Yeah. Look, I really think you got these Celtics fans, us as a Celtics fan base, we way overvalue our assets here when we're talking about rotational pieces. A guy like Jrue Holiday, he's not a rotation piece. Malcolm Brogdon and Rob Williams, as much as we love them as players, they were rotation pieces. You just got a bona fide starter, a guy that's going to play, 35 minutes in crunch time, provided that he's available to do so. I mean, you guys, the fact that I can't believe we got him for this much, and I do think, Portland got a haul, all things considered, for the Damian Lillard trade, considering they moved a couple of pieces to make all this happen. Yeah. But I think Brad, top 5 GM in the NBA right now, it's not even a debate for me. He is by far and away one of the elite GMs. He has done more in filling the gaps for us in the last 2 seasons than Brad has done, than Danny had did in his last 3 or 4 or even 5 seasons prior to that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it all says it, but listen, on paper, we look good. We need to put it together on the floor. We need to build some team chemistry going forward. And I think this team has a lot of potential. Guys, before we end this off, we're going to probably talk a little bit longer, but make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be posting podcasts every single week, emergency pods when we need to. For example, this one. I will be live streaming tomorrow during Media Day, 10:30 in the morning, if you want to watch that with me. So make sure you guys join the family. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. Comment down below who will be the most impactful player for the Celtics going into next season. But I also want to talk about, I heard you say a little bit earlier, something about Celtics being the best team in the East. So yesterday or the other day.
In the NBA.
In the NBA. You're saying NBA right now.
Yeah, in the NBA.
So a couple of days ago, we talked about, okay, Milwaukee's the best team. Like, we knew, you and me kind of agreed, Milwaukee on paper, they're the best team in the NBA. But now with this move, you're saying Boston should be ahead of them right now.
Yeah, should 100% be the best team in the league. I don't know if Milwaukee thought ahead on this before they moved Jrue, thinking that the Celtics wouldn't be able to get the capital to go get them.
Them in the ass, dude.
But I'm telling you, this makes it harder for them and better for us, because this fixes the biggest problem. And I'm kind of sad about it in a way, because I kind of wanted to harp on this all season long about like a point guard play. But I guess Brad saved me the the ability to do that. And we're going to have to talk about other things. I'll find new things to complain about. Don't worry, people will be sick of me complaining.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, this puts you in the position to be the best team. It's all about Banner 18. It's boom or bust for this team. And if they don't win a championship with a fully healthy starting five, I don't know what else we could do here. I don't know what else. And we're getting ahead of ourselves. But at the end of the day, man, this is not a regular season thing for us. We're not looking for regular season accolades. We're looking for a championship. And it's time, man. It's been since '08. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing this impacts us in is I don't know if you remember about this last season, but we were one of the worst teams in the NBA in terms of closing out games, ranking number 22 in the NBA in terms of points in the fourth quarter. I think Jrue Holiday helps us in this category a lot just because of his leadership, his mentality. Him and Al Horford will probably do a great job like settling the team down. When we get into areas where, they go on 8-0 runs to start the fourth quarter, they will be, or Jrue Holiday specifically, will be a guy like, listen, calm down. We're okay. And I think that is going to be kind of like the unsung hero in a type of way. I mean, last season, Jrue Holiday was averaging 19 points a game. You're telling me you have Jalen, Jason, who both score 27 plus points per game. Kristaps Porzingis, who was averaging upwards of 22, 23 points a game last season. And now Jrue Holiday, who scored 19 points a game. And then you have Derek White, Al Horford, Sam Hauser, talk about guys we could get off the free agent market. I mean, this team has untapped potential offensively, but defensively as well. Porzingis helps us defensively. Holiday helps us defensively.
Right.
This team is scary, man. This team is scary.
It's scary, and I know everyone wants to give taboo on load management. Let's be honest, it happens at every team in the league. They're going to start resting their guys when they need to, but lesser teams, you put Jrue and Porzingis out there, you'll win games. And vice versa. You put Tatum and Brown, you give Porzingis and Jrue some rest, let these guys rest and get ready for the postseason. They're still going to win games. This team is way too stacked. Your two best players can hold it out on their own in the regular season, and now you just added two studs. Porzingis greater than Williams, Jrue greater than Smart. It's not up for debate. If all things equal, all players healthy. Granted, Robert is younger, maybe some more upside. You could maybe make that argument from a two-way perspective because obviously Porzingis has the outside game, but they improved in every way, shape, or form. And Jalen, he got paid. Time to step the fuck up. And
all Tatum, he has to do is dribble with his left hand. He's good.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he could take it to the left with all that money they're paying him, Fubbies. I'm just saying, I know that's your guy, but he's got to be able to go to the left.
No, I get it.
I'm gonna be on him all season.
Yeah, I can't wait for those conversations. But I mean, overall, man, I'm excited. People might be able to say maybe we don't have enough depth this year compared to last year. You don't have Grant, you don't have Malcolm Brogdon, but I mean, Derek White, Sam Hauser, potentially Al Horford, whoever comes off the bench for us. I'm not too nervous about depth right now. I mean, Peyton Pritchard, forgot about him. Then you got a bunch of guys who are fighting for minutes in terms of O'Shea Brissett, Lamar Stevens.
That kid Walsh going to get plenty of minutes. Pritchard's going to get minutes. Hauser's going to get minutes. Cornette's going to get minutes.
The biggest thing I'm nervous about is a backup center, man. I mean, Luke Cornette. If an injury happens, I just, I don't know. That's
injuries are going to happen. It's the NBA. But what matters is you get the guys right for the postseason. That is what matters. Injuries are inevitable. This is sports. Guys are going to get banged up. Guys are going to miss games. That's part of the course, provided that nobody goes out for the season, knock on wood. You just got to get guys ready for March, April, and for the toughest part of the postseason. So because when you get to that point, we've talked about this. It's a 7-8 man rotation. We're not, Sam Hauser is not getting quality minutes. I'm sorry, unless he takes that next step, he's not getting quality minutes. It's probably going to be, Peyton Pritchard and Derek White off the bench, and then whoever else we go sign as a veteran, unless one of these young boys step up. But that's probably what's going to be. And then you're going to potentially Al coming off the bench too, unless he is a starter. But they'll work out those logistics, and I'm not worried about it. At the end of the day, I like our 7-8 best players over any other 7-8 players in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the only team maybe is the Suns. Suns look like they got a squad over there. But I agree with you. I think the Celtics are right there. Tomorrow
their ability to gel in those games.
Yeah, I mean,
just
chemistry is a big thing.
I like us in a. I would love to play the Suns in the final. I would rather play the Suns over the Nuggets in a finals. I'm just
Nuggets
saying.
got
That's
the chemistry. They did lose
the
Bruce
way.
Brown though, and Jeff Green. Those are big pieces.
We'll see how that looks as the season goes, but
Yeah.
I would rather, as things currently stand, the Suns don't scare me as much as the Nuggets do.
Yeah. Well, I would say I give this trade for the Celtics an A plus. I do.
A+.
I do hate losing
5
Rob Williams, but
stars.
Trailblazers got a dog, man. Trailblazers got a dog in Rob Williams. I'm hoping I'm gonna be rooting for him a lot over there in Portland. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys. What do you give this trade? A plus, B plus? Do you hate losing Rob? Do you give it a C plus? I know Ricky me and Ricky do love it. You know, me and Ricky are very, very different sometimes. We definitely
Don't
have.
worry, we're gonna disagree plenty on this show, man. I'm not hung up on these assets. People are gonna be in the comment section crying. I don't care. These assets are nothing compared to what Jrue Holiday offers you. You guys think you gave up too much? It's actually crazy you didn't give up more to go get a guy like this. You gave up a guy who didn't even want to be here.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be here, and you gave him up for Jrue Holiday.
Especially now that we got to go against Dame and potentially the conference finals. So
do you want to win a championship or don't you?
Yeah.
Or do you want to have Rob Williams jerseys? You know what I mean? What do you want? Like,
no, yeah, I agree.
It's crazy. So, sorry, I'm not gonna. I love Rob. I'm not gonna validate him more than what he was. Just a solid player who just was not as available as much as he should have been, and that's why Brad didn't hang on to him. Brad is a GOAT for this, man. I'm telling you, this trade is amazing. Beautiful trade by Brad. Well done. And he wasted no time. The trade happened. You know his ass was on the phone making that deal.
Yeah. I like it. I give an A plus. Comment down below what you think. There is still another domino to fall here with Malcolm Brogdon. Blazers say they want to move him to a contender. Already hearing the Heat and the Bucks are interested, so we might see Brogdon go back to Milwaukee. We'll see what happens with that, but.
Don't pack your bag.
It's gonna go back and forth. But we'll see what happens. Comment down below your opinion on the deal. Subscribe if you. We will be covering the Celtics all season long, so join the family. I will be streaming every single game as well. But I appreciate you guys coming through. Hit the like button, subscribe. And man, love this deal. Hopefully it works out for the Celtics going forward. And peace.
Peace.
All right, beautiful. I think that was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, because we had to